Right, welcome back to the Higher Heart Warrior channel. My name is Hadija. Today we have the topic is take back your power. So this pile of cards for each separate pile is going to be describing what you need to take your power back from. And then this pile of cards is going to be describing how to take it back, including the Goddess Power deck, which you can call on these goddesses to assist you in taking back your power. Also, I do post videos every week, Saturday, 8 p.m. You can see my website for personalized Reiki healing sessions and oracle readings. You can do them separate or combined. Either way, let's jump into this. What does pile number 1 need to take their power back from? What does pile 1? Pile 2, what does pile 2 need to take their power back from? And pile 3, what does pile 3 need to take their power back from? You know the Beyonce song, Power? That song is just replaying in my head over and over and over again. Maybe that's a song for you to listen to kind of help, I don't know, activate something in you. And pile 1. What does pile 1 need to take their power back from? What does pile 2 need to take their pile back? Their pile? Their power? All right, I guess we'll go there. And then how? How can pile 1 take their power back? How can pile 1 take their power back? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me read for you. I appreciate it. I also appreciate your likes, your comments, and subscriptions. Pile 3. If you hear a dog, don't mind him. He's an older gentleman. How can pile 1 take their power? No way, that's too many. Sorry. Nope. Okay. All right, pile 1. How can... No friggin' way, dude. Seriously? Pile 1, you get 1 card. All right, how can pile 1 take their power back? All right, how can pile 2 take their power back? How can pile 3 take their power back? All right, going there. We're going there. And also, I do provide multiple ways to select your piles, or you could just use your intuition. Whatever works best for you. But we're going to do angel numbers. Pile 1. All right. Pile 2. Pile 3. We'll do that. There you go. Just being generous with the cards today. Or your zodiac sign. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Do a different order this week. Oh, Bodhi. That's the dog's name is Bodhi. He's a good boy. Did I do? Nope. Somebody's got 5. Okay. Letters. Okay. Pile 3. Dude, what's going on with the cards today? You're jumping. Oh my gosh, there's this song called Jopping. It's fun. It's fun. Look it up. Jopping. All right, let's get the numbers for pile 1. Pile 2. Oh. And pile 3. Okie dokie. Now I will get these straightened out and then I will show you all the different pile selectors so you can choose your pile. Also, the description box is where you can find the timestamp for your pile once you do see the selectors. All right, pile 1 for you, we have the angel number 1234 with the keyword persistence, the angel number 911 with the keyword of courage. You could have your sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, or Aries. You could see the letters N, F, J, O. The numbers 42, 54, 1, or 38. And then for pile 2, we have the number 777. You could have your sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Capricorn, Scorpio, Leo, or Sagittarius. The letter G, V, Z, or E, or the number 23, 57, 24, or 55. And then for pile number 3, we have the angel numbers 1818 and 143. Zodiac sign of Aquarius, Cancer, Libra, or Taurus. The letters P, L, M, or W. The numbers 36, 14, 19, or 22. And I will see you at your pile. Welcome, pile number 1. In today's reading, we are going to find out how you can take back your power. So if you've been seeing the angel numbers 911, 1, 2, 3, 4, 38, 1, 54, or 42, the letters N, F, J, or O, or you have your sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, or Aries, this is your message. And it's not just if those apply to you, but you know, those are added bonuses. All right, so what do you need to take your power back from? We're going to start with this. That's space. So immediately it's like it's a coping mechanism that you've used, which has been helpful, which has been meaningful, it's been necessary, but you've been taking too much space from people. You've been putting too much distance between you and others. And denying yourself happiness. Because you think that this is where your power lies. But and for a time it did, because it could be, you know, like you were in an overly dependent or codependent way of being, and it was very necessary for you to take this space. But it's past the time where it's helpful, and now it's disempowering. It's creating a false sense of power and control. And then we've got the Tower. So a little bit of a deeper insight into this is where you're being called to take your power back from is from the past. You had a Tower moment in the past that it forced you to create this space, whether it was by choice or by force, right? Like it could be that people, places, or things left your life and there was a forced creation of space for you to be able to take a look at yourself in the mirror. The thing is, though, sometimes you can become more comfortable in that place of believing that it's always going to be that way, and that there's, like I said before, a sense of safety in this not trying, in not putting yourself out there to connect with other people, in not allowing yourself to be happy for fear that it'll go away. These are all valid, coping mechanisms, but they aren't the most empowering for you. Because the thing is, like, we're meant to experience happiness more than just once in our lifetime. And I feel like that's kind of like an idea that you've kind of latched onto, is that, oh, well, I've experienced happiness once, I can't be greedy, I can't ask for more happiness. No, that's not the case. These things come in cycles, and where you're being called to take your power back is from the past and from that idea itself, the idea that you can't be happy more than once, that, chaos and destruction always reign, you never get to be happy, things of that nature. So how you can take your power back, dude, we have don't give up on love. A relationship you cherish can be healed. Allow me to clear the way for forgiveness so that love can thrive again. And then we have Goddess Kali, liberation. So you're being like, okay, yeah, I just feel like this, like, sort of like hopelessness, like hopelessness that happiness isn't in the cards for you in this lifetime. And it's like, well, that's a choice. That in itself is a choice. You can choose to put yourself back out there again. You can choose to sit in that discomfort that comes along with forming connections, and you can choose to learn how to help yourself cope with that discomfort. You can choose to be curious about how to learn how to cope with the discomfort. You can choose not to give up on love, because you deserve love, Pile 1. Yeah, Bodhi said yeah. You do. You deserve love, Pile 1. And Goddess Kali can definitely help you to liberate yourself from this disempowering point of view that you've already experienced the best that you can experience in this life. So that is your message, Pile 1. If you'd like to go deeper or explore different ways to be able to sit with that discomfort or get a more personalized reading, you can head to higherheartwarriorchannel.com, where I do, again, offer readings and Reiki sessions. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome, pile number 2. This is your reading if you've been seeing the letter V, Z, E, or G, the angel number 777, the number 55, 24, 57, or 23, or if you have your sun, moon, rising, or Venus in the sign of Capricorn, Scorpio, Leo, or Sagittarius. Or if you just chose pile 2 because it resonated with you, or because the timestamp number matched a number that you've been seeing. There's different reasons to choose a pile. I just like to give these options so that you can have that extra confirmation. So, how can you take back your power? And what can you take it back from? These cards are going to signify what you can take back your power from, and these are going to be the how. Ooh, strength. That's so interesting, because you did get the Leo coming up here, and Leo, the zodiac, strength in the tarot is associated with the zodiac sign of Leo. So, I feel like pile 2, I feel like just based off this strength card, there's a sense that you are always the strong one. And there's power isn't just hard. I wanted to say jihad, like hard. It's not just brute force, right? There is a way to be strong and powerful in being receptive and soft. Like there's a power in holding and striking that balance between being strong just for the sake of being strong and actually allowing yourself to be receptive, to live in that duality of life in whatever way that means for you. We're going to find out. But Yeah, I feel like pile 2, because the thing is with power, like, there's more than one way to be powerful. We each have our own individual power, and this isn't power that you exert on others. This is power that you emanate, that you embody. But yeah, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Purpose. And then we have the chiefess. You've got to be shitting me. This is also, this is associated with the strength card in the tarot. All right, pile 2. So I feel like in the traditional sense of the word power, in the most commonly understood sense of the word power, the most unnuanced way to envision the word power, you've got that down, you've got that locked. But the thing is, true power comes from understanding that, and this is my opinion, right? True power comes from understanding that there needs to be a purpose behind being strong. Like, being strong just for the sake of being strong isn't actual strength. I'm trying to think of a way to say this. It is a front. It is not actual strength. Like I was saying before, strength comes from knowing that there's a time to be strong and that there's a time, like, am I even making any sense? I feel like it's a concept that you need to investigate further on what your idea of power and strength is, what your idea of achievement is, what your idea of alignment is. Because that's how, when you get to know what your definitions of these words are, what your idea of these words are, that's when you can start to understand where it's coming from. And then once you understand where it's coming from, you can better align it and balance it without being too far on one side of the spectrum. Well, this just went, yeah, pile 2. Right. Okay. How you can take your power back is by okay. So I was talking about I was talking about here about what your idea of strength is, what your idea of power is, and how it's a spectrum, and there's a need to have that balance. And then we have Ellen of the Ways patterns. This goddess is associated with patterns. And when I said to investigate internally what the purpose of strength is for you, what the meaning of the word strength is for you, what the meaning of the word power is for you, that'll help you look at the patterns of behavior and thoughts that form your outlook on your self-concept, on the way you view life. And in doing so, I feel like you'll be able to get closer to being actually empowered, authentically empowered, and not just empowered based on, like I mentioned before, based on what you think power should be or should look like. And then a way for you to be able to step into this too, because when I first pulled this card, I was like, oh, I feel like you're used to being strong. And then It's Time to Play comes out, and it's like, okay, you're working too hard and worrying about everything. Seek out joyous experiences to bring balance into your life. I didn't even realize that. Balance. Again, so coming into alignment with always having to be the strong one is a pattern for you. And in order to be actually empowered, to actually take your power back, you're going to need to play. You're going to need to have some fun. You're going to need to lighten up a little bit and not be too intellectual about these things. Again, though, there is a need to strike that balance. Investigate, be curious about these patterns of how you learned to to be strong, what your definition of strong is, what it looks like, how that serves you, how it doesn't serve you. You know, those are the things that you can do to kind of get your power back, to call your power back. Okay, pile 2. This is so interesting. I feel like there's a lot, like I feel like there is some inner child. There's definitely some inner child healing that could be helpful for you. So if you'd be interested in that, you could head to higherheartwarriorchannel.com. I do offer inner child reading and Reiki session. Otherwise, I hope this was helpful, and I thank you for watching and for allowing me to read for you. I do post videos every Saturday at 8 a.m. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. I appreciate it all. And thank you. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, pile number 3. Thank you for joining me. And let's find out where and how you can take your power back. If you've been seeing the letters P, L, M, or W, the angel number 1818 or 143, the number 22, 19, 14, or 36, or 222, or you have your sun, moon, rising, or Venus in Taurus, Libra, Cancer, or Aquarius, this is your pile. Or it could just be your pile because you usually pick pile 3. Whatever works for you. These are just extra confirmation, okay? So what do you need to take your power back from? You have 4 cards for this. And then how you can take your power back, how you can take your power back is going to be from these 2 cards. I feel like you're excited. I feel like you're excited, pile number 3, and I don't feel like that's a bad thing because I feel like that ties into how you can take your power back, because maybe in the past you haven't been able to feel excitement about things, and it's just finally getting to this point where you're able to feel excited about things again. That could just be for some of you, but so you've got Libra with balance as the keyword, and then you have balance here. So maybe, just maybe, pile 3, the way that you can take your power back is by bringing that excitement so that it's not so overwhelming and all-consuming. There's a need to kind of ground your energy a little bit, not to dull the shine or the way that you're immersed in this excitement, but rather just so that it's a little bit more even-keeled, so it, again, doesn't consume you. And then we have humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Right. Oh, the color green could be significant for you. Your heart chakra allowing. Okay, pile 3. A way for you to take your power back is to, well, focus on the lighter side of life, which is going to bring in this balance. I feel like this is a little bit confusing to me because it's like, okay, it's like you're on a seesaw. And that could be where this balance is coming from. It's like you get excited and you feel optimistic about things, but then there's almost like a lack of preparation for the embodiment of those things that you get excited about. These could be like projects or new community members or things like that. And then when there's even the slightest hint of things not going in the way that you expect them to go, it's like you get plunged into this this sense of despair, for lack of a better word. I mean, you really seem to, you could have a significant Cancer placement or more than one water placement in your birth chart, because I feel like you feel those emotions very, very deeply. And that is where this balance is coming in twice. And we haven't even gotten to the other cards yet. Like, it's like, yes, please do be optimistic, but also prepare. Prepare yourself emotionally to be stable in the moment, stable in yourself, stable in your power to be able to traverse any unforeseen change in circumstance that maybe doesn't line up with your expectations. And being able to see the humor in some of those things, because let's be honest, that's part of life. A part of life is that things don't always go the way that we plan. And there can be so, like this, just from personal experience, there have been so many times where I'm like, well, okay, that's actually kind of funny. I thought it would go this way. I expected it to go this way. I was hopeful and optimistic it would go this way, and then it went this way. Now, is this way the way that I wanted it to go? No, but is it catastrophic? No, it's not. Is there something that's a little bit funny if I look at it from a higher perspective of like, oh wow, she was totally expecting it to go this way and then it went this way instead. You know, there's a way to look at things with a little bit of levity so that when there is disappointment, your energy, your power isn't being so easily swayed like a cork on the ocean. And then we have radical truth and victorious. So like, oh, and the number 43 could be significant for you too. I feel like, so pile 3, that is your key to taking back your power. That is your key to taking back your power. And a side message too is there's a little bit of a harsh truth that you need to hear right now, which is you're not always going to be right. You're just not. And there's something funny to be seen in that as well. You're not always going to be right. You don't have all the answers. And I'm not saying that you think you do, but that's kind of the ego. I feel like balancing your ego, balancing how it shows up for you, because ego shows up differently for every person. And learning to work with your ego instead of trying to kill it off as well. You don't want to do that. That's a way of putting things in balance. That's a way of outsourcing your power. Yeah. Sit with that for a second, because I feel like that was a bit of a truth bomb. And you know, truth is subjective. So if you know, take what you want and leave what you don't. But this is how you can take your power back. Straight from your ancestors. There's sometimes, you know, we need to hear messages that aren't always funny, that aren't always, you know, rainbows and sunshine. Because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we truly step into our power. Another way for you to take your power back would be to recognize the signs from above. And then we have Epona with wise leadership. I think 2, pile 3. With this signs from above, I feel like your angels, your ancestors, your team, your God, you know, however your higher power manifests for you, has been sending you signs to try to prepare you. Okay, so perfect example. I was just getting ready to say that your team in the unseen, your higher power, has been sending you signs to try to prepare you. And then an alarm went off. And it's like, I could have reacted to that with anger or a more disempowering emotion, a valid emotion, but still not very balanced. But instead I laughed, because it's like, I was just getting to, it was like, I had that feeling. I was like, oh man, it's really flowing. Like the message is really coming through so smoothly. And then the alarm goes off. It's like I did everything I could to make sure there wouldn't be any interruptions in recording. And then that happens. And that goes to show like a part of taking your power back is being able to, like I said before, not be a cork on the ocean and instead be an anchor, like steady and balanced. That doesn't mean numb. That doesn't mean hopeless or pessimistic, but it does mean balanced. Right. So I'm trying to get back into the message. I think another way for you to take back your power. Okay. Another way for you to take back your power, pile 3. Because for some of you, I feel like, yes, everything, the whole message so far, yes. Okay. But then for others of you, it's flipped. It's like the optimism, the humor, the balance is in the other direction, where you're needing to be more optimistic. You're needing to be more excited. You're needing to get more like willing to see the brighter side of life. And that's where these signs are coming in to help you to step into your power, because there is power. Like I said before, actually, it may not have been this pile. There's a spectrum of emotions, right? Each emotion has its right time and its right place, but being too pessimistic or jaded means you're not in balance, means you're disempowered, because you're giving your power away to this idea that nothing can ever be. You can't ever be victorious, right? Okay. With wise leadership here, a way for you to take back your power is to take back authority of your life, and to know that you can choose how you feel. You can choose, again, to see the humor in everything. You can choose to see the silver lining. You can choose to get curious on how to balance your emotions. If you're unsure of any of the message so far, you could always check out different ways to work with your mindset. There's tons of free resources out there. I also do work Reiki healing sessions and readings to help you kind of pinpoint where you can start and what needs the most focus at the moment. But pile 3, that is your message. I feel like I was just going to end it, and I'm like, nah, like this is a little bit, I'm going to get, so let's see. Because I feel like these were a little bit vaguer. They didn't really stick a pin in the point of how. So how can pile 3 really step into their power? Yeah, okay. This is like, for me, the 10 of Pentacles is like the cycle breaker. So there's a pile 3. All right. Yeah. There's a way, this may not tie into the rest of the message, but there's a need for you to really speak your truth about the cycles and the legacy that, the burden of that legacy that was placed on you through family, through work, because that's going to help you release some of that weight that may be keeping things out of balance. You know, this isn't new to you, like, but just because it's not new doesn't mean it's not worth trying again. Because you can do it. You can step out of this illusion of fear. You're not tied down. You're not trapped. You can take leadership of your life. And you can choose the direction that your life goes in. You can choose to see the lighter side of life. You have a choice. That is where your power lies, in your choice, in the choices that you make and how you think, how you act, if you act, when you act, and what you do with your time and your energy. Okay, pile 3, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you'd like, you can see the offerings that I have on higherheartwarriorchannel.com. Otherwise, I post videos every Saturday at 8 a.m. And I hope to see you there. Thank you.